And if you're an entrepreneur or career person, you want to scale your business, you cannot scale without stopping to evaluate, to assess, to reconsider. I'm doing this now, but some people are doing things that worked for them before, but it's actually counterproductive now. But because they're locked into a certain rhythm, then they don't have an opportunity to assess. And so what happens is when you stop, it allows you, watch this, to be.
What's happening? No capping. We with AO, about to get a plate bowl. Pull up to the table. Let's go.
You know, oftentimes we struggle with finding balance. And I think what I've learned is that most wealthy people, successful people, are actually able to balance their lives. And I think that some of us think that balance is put 50% over here, put 50% over here, or put 25 over here, 25 over there, 25 over there, 25 over there, and we have balance. And while that makes sense to the eye, does that make sense to us internally? Is that the most healthiest thing to do? Give our family 25%, give our job 25%, give this 25%, give that 25%, give this one maybe 1%. We're going to talk about that today because today's guest, my friend, Pastor Touré Roberts, aka also known as PT, is here to join us today, who is the author of a new book that came out this week called Balance, Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well, forwarded by his amazing wife, my amazing sister in Christ, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. I want you to get your friends. I want you to tell them right now, yo, you need to go watch this show. You need to get this because I promise you, this interview is going to challenge you and stretch you. All single people, get ready. This guy, every time he comes on to the show, every time him or his wife gets on my show, they come for me in a good way, in a healthy way, but they come for me and they come for us and they just dropping jewels left and right. So get with your friend, tell them, hey, check out today's show. But before we get to my friend, Pastor Touré, I want to remind you two quick things. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, please join this amazing channel. We are dropping content every Monday and Wednesday, and we have a goal to really help you grow this year and maximize this year of 2022 when it comes to the areas of your finances, your spiritual walk, your mental health, and just really bettering yourself. So join us. Please hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on YouTube or podcast. And last but not least, I want to thank today's sponsor of the show, Churchill Mortgage. Churchill Mortgage is the only mortgage company that I have ever worked with in my entire life. They have financed all of my homes. And I'm going to tell you why I rock with Churchill and why you should rock with Churchill today as well. You know why? One, is because they value relationships. And so they want to put you into the best financial situation for you and yourself. And they understand, watch this, they understand the power of home ownership and how that can help us close the wealth gap. I'm going to say that again. They understand the power of home ownership and how that can close the wealth gap. And so they have put some things into place to help you get into a home. No, you don't need a credit score. No, you don't have to have an open trade line because they have manual underwriters and they would love to get you into a home. Number two, they're going to give you a certified pre-approval. Certified simply means that their manual underwriter looked at your loan, looked at your application, looked at your income and said, you know what, this is cool. You're 95% there. Boom, here's your stamp of approval. Here's what you qualify for. Here's what we could do to put you into the best financial situation for you and your family. Go out there. Now that puts you in the market strong because now your buyers know this is a certified buyer. And not only just that, yo, listen, they're going to give you a certified pre-approval to give to your seller. They're also going to give you another letter telling your seller, look, we are so happy about this relationship and we know this is a great buyer that we're willing to put $5,000 on the table just to guarantee you that if something happens, if we have to back out of the loan for whatever reason, because of financial stuff, they're going to give you the earnest money and that $5,000. So listen, I want you to go to anthonyoneal.com/Churchill. That is anthonyoneal.com/Churchill. Apply for your next home mortgage with my friends over there at Churchill. Tell them that I sent you and they'll take real good care for you. And if you are a first-time home buyer, listen, they got some great programs for you as well. But man, listen, I'm extremely, extremely excited because Pastor Touré is most widely known for being the founder of one of the most influential movements, faith empowerment movements in the world, one, formerly known as One Church LA. His modern and his modern approach to faith has attracted thousands to his physical campus each week pre-COVID, and has really just attracted so many celebrities. I can't even name how many celebrities look to this man to be his mentor, look to him and his wife to be their mentor. And listen, he has accomplished over 100 million views to date online. He is the author of Balance, Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well. Let's get to today's show. So Pastor Touré, man, welcome back to the table, man. Thank you so much for coming back. This is actually our second show recording this because the last time I had a little technical difficulty on my end. So I appreciate you coming back.
You just missed me, man. Just let your people know you just missed me. You wanted more time with me. That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, man. Here's the truth. I wanted more balance in my life. So I said, let me get some more Touré in my life so I can have some more balance. And I can, if I have more balance, maybe I can get me a wife. But we'll talk about that later. And we will go from there. But, man, I really want to dive into, this amazing book, Balance, Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well. And I think it's just so cool. Just to give a little plug from my sister in Christ. Man, this is forwarded by your wife, my sister, Sarah Jakes Roberts, who is absolutely amazing. And I had the privilege of watching you two work together on stage at Bishop Jakes' leadership conference. And, man, y'all two are just amazing.
Wow. Thank you.
We clearly see the fruit of your balance.
Wow. Wow.
You are balancing well. But, I really wanted to start here because I think a lot of people watching this show right now are juggling a lot. They're trying to be influencers. They're trying to be mom. They're trying to be dad. They're trying to be entrepreneur. They're trying to be a friend. And, you juggle a lot of hats from being a senior pastor of a very high-end, very influential, one of the strongest movements in the world called One. You're a speaker, author, entrepreneur, husband, father, and so many more. I'm literally looking at my notes because I'm like, who is this guy? He's a little bit of everything. But at what point did you realize there was areas in your life that were more imbalanced, and what was your own personal journey to balance like?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, wonderful question. You're right. I do have a lot going on, and I have, over, a couple of decades built so many things, and a lot of those things are still part of my life. So you don't really start with a lot going on. You start where you're at. But then if you are kind of a serial entrepreneur like me, or you're just driven, you begin to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And you have success. So at a certain point, I think for me, it wasn't so much that I couldn't handle it all or manage it all. It was more that I couldn't bring my best to them all. And I think that's the misnomer about balance. Most people think that, when they say, I just need balance in my life, I need to find balance, they believe that means that they need to figure out how to divvy themselves up. I've got a relationship, I'm a parent, I've got a career, maybe I work at the church, or I work for a nonprofit. I do nonprofit work. I've got all these things. I've got something that I want to do, my entrepreneurial pursuit. How do I divvy myself up so that I can manage all those things? And I think that approach to balance will actually leave you frustrated, because I don't believe that you're supposed to give a percentage of yourself to the things that matter the most. Balance is not about dividing yourself up for your responsibilities. I can't give my wife 10% of me, my kids 10% of me, my staff 10% of me, my investors 10% of me. I can't do that. So what I have learned is that through the pain of me not being able to bring my best to those moments, what I've learned that balance is not about dividing yourself up. It's about learning how to become all of yourself, your whole self, and then giving your best self to those things. And so I think I struggled like everybody else, but I realized that our approach to balance was not correct.
Ooh. I'm sitting here writing down notes, and those of you all who are watching, if you don't have a pen, a paper, notepad out while watching this, you need to go back and watch this again and write down notes. PT, you said balance is about becoming all of yourself, and then giving all of yourself to that particular assignment. I'm curious, from what I remember from our first interview when that didn't get recorded because of my craziness. When did you realize you needed to write this book to help us out? Because when I hear you say balance is not about dividing yourself up, that's new. Because it's like when you think of balance, it is about put 50% over here, put 50% over there, and balance out. But you're saying, no, that's not it at all when it comes to us as in humans. So when did you realize that the world, needed a book like this?
It was 2018, and it was that revelation because we've heard time management. We've heard about work-life balances. There are no shortage of books that talk about disciplines. And listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, but we've had all these books, we've had all these seminars, we've had all these conversations, and people are still saying, I need balance in my life. So obviously, because think about it, Anthony, you ain't never heard nobody say, man, I'm so balanced. Man, I got this balance. You've never, ever heard one person say that, even the people that you admire the most. So it wasn't working. And this epiphany came to me, and this revelation came to me. And so I started writing. I got the deal in 2018. I started writing at the end of 2019. And what's crazy is this book was supposed to come out in October of 2020. But I kept pushing it back, and I kept pushing it back because the pandemic hit and the world changed and the world shifted, and I had to evolve in my understanding of balance, because balance today in 2022 is completely different than balance in February of 2020. And so I realized that it's been an incredible journey writing this thing. I had to learn how to have equilibrium in any season, no matter what. And I think that this book couldn't have come out at a better time.
It really couldn't have, because I think a lot of people are struggling in this area. My tribe watching right now, 72% of them are single Black women who are single mothers, who are not only single mothers, but they're single mothers who are in the career field, who are going to school, who are entrepreneurs. And one of the things that they're always asking me is, Anthony, how do I balance being a mom? How do I balance being an entrepreneur? How do I balance, even in my dating life and being a good wife or a good friend? To someone who's struggling with that, and they're going to get this book, what are some things they could really focus on now, PT, when it comes to how to really be all in, but be all in mother, be all in entrepreneur? Because when I hear that, what I hear you saying is, okay, when you're with your kids, be all in and don't worry about that. But am I off? Am I wrong? Am I a little bit on? What? How can we help people who are struggling in this area when it comes to kids, entrepreneurship, careers, and even in dating? Because I struggle in that, PT. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I love working, but it's hard for me to balance working and pursuing a relationship.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a lot to that. But let's talk about the single mom, or even if she's married and she has kids. Yeah. Let's start there, because the desire there is to be an incredible mom while you're managing all these things. There's a chapter in the book called "There's No Team in I," which obviously is a play on the popular phrase "There's no I in team," and the whole premise of that chapter is the power of self-prioritization. Now, many people struggle, especially people who are apt to serve. They're more, they're help. They're benevolent. I won't say people pleasing. We'll get into that maybe later. But we have an issue with prioritizing ourselves, because somewhere we have been programmed to believe that to prioritize ourselves is the same thing as being selfish. And that is actually not true. In fact, I have discovered that it's the opposite. If I want to be a good parent to my kids, what I'm going to have to do is, watch this, forget about them for a second. Come on. Now, this is so counterintuitive. It's for me to take a moment, get a babysitter, do whatever I need to do, but pull back and get me together, prioritize myself. Because if I don't prioritize myself, then I cannot be good for you. So here's the thing. So prioritizing me doesn't hurt you. Not prioritizing myself is what hurts you. Because if I am not the best me, I cannot present the best me to you and to help you. And so I used to think, and I'll tell you how this has worked in my life. So I used to think, I was of the mentality, I need to divide my time up. So, I need more balance in my life. And so tell you what, date night's going to be Thursday. I'm going to take my son to the basketball game on Saturday. I'm going to take my daughter here. I'm going to spend this here. And I had it all laid out. Everybody was covered, right? The only problem is by the time I got to the second activity, to the second person, I was drained. I wasn't present. I had nothing to offer, and I might as well have been just a rock, sitting down. So it actually worked against me. And not only, watch this, not only did it not benefit the person that I thought that I was doing a service to, but it didn't benefit me as well, because I was spending energy I did not have under this false idea of balance. And so what I did was, I begin to prioritize myself. You know what? I'm starting to get a little weary. I'm starting to get a little tired. Hey, daddy's husband, I'm getting ready to take a few days away. In the beginning, it was tough. Oh, daddy, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. I said, trust me, the version of me that you get when I walk back through this door is going to be worth the 2 or 3 days you allowed me to. And watch this. And I delivered on that. See, here's another thing. When you break it down and you take care of yourself, see, a lot of people don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to take care of themselves. So they go and to the retreat, or they take the time off, but they're on their phone. They're calling people, because sometimes they're afraid to be alone. Because when you're alone, like really alone, you got to deal with some stuff. You got to answer some questions. You got to look yourself in the mirror. But I delivered. When I took that time away, I came back. I had energy. I had creativity for the kids, right? I had romance. I had everything. I had strategy for my team. I had new creative entrepreneurial ideas. And so herein, I'm thinking that if I stop and prioritize myself, I'm going to lose, when the reality of it is, when I prioritize myself, I started winning in all areas. I started doing all things well. And this is the false idea about balance we have to break. It is not divvying yourself up. It is prioritizing yourself so that you can become yourself and offer your best self to everything in your universe.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. You say that, and Pastor Touré, you are absolutely right, man. Last year I took the first trip by myself. Never been out of the country by myself before. And that was probably the best trip I ever had for me, because I went and I said, I'm not going to pull out my phone. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to go and just spend 3 days just for myself. And you're right. It was hard because I was alone, but it was refreshing because I was alone. And I had the opportunity to dream, to look at myself, and to really think for myself. But, it's funny. My mom and I were talking. She was like, I don't know if I want your daddy to go out the country and just go away for 3-4 days by himself. I don't know. And what I hear you saying, is it's good to do that, even if you're married, because it's like, now you get away, you spend some time with your spouse for sure, but you individually went away and came back recharged for your whole family. And you just gave us a whole mouthful, but I just got to ask that question, because I know married people watching this right now saying, but PT, you want me to leave my spouse? I get leaving my kids, but you're saying leave my spouses for a couple of days? What if that creates trust issues? Or what if she thinks I'm doing something crazy if I tell her, no, I'm just going to get recharged?
Okay, so let me back up. I'm going to answer that question, but let me back up, because I want to say something, because you mentioned alone, and that you went away alone. When most people hear the word alone, there is a negative connotation to it, a negative stigma. For example, we go to a restaurant and we see somebody sitting in the corner by themselves all alone. We feel sorry for them. Oh, they couldn't get a date, or I should go over there and be kind to them, all this kind of stuff. Oh, woe is them. Pity, 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 right? So somehow the concept of being alone somehow has become this negative, deprived, deficit type of thing, where that's not even what the word alone originally meant. The word alone is derived from a Latin phrase, the Latin phrase al ana. And that Latin phrase al ana literally means all one, all one, all one. So we struggle with alone, but the reality of it is our alone time is what puts us in the environment to become whole, to become all one, so that we are no longer divided and tossed to and fro, so that we can have velocity, so that we can write the vision and make it plain. We're no longer distracted, right? So there is a gift in being alone if you get over the fear of self. Many people have the fear of self, which I talk about in the book. If you get over that and really appreciate al ana, becoming all oneself. So you talk about a relationship. You can't even do a relationship well until you become all oneself. Two halves don't make a whole. That was wholeness, but two halves don't make a whole. I want a wife, I want a husband, I want a partner, I want a spouse, but I can't be alone. Listen, if I was single and that was you saying, I look, can you date me? I don't want to be alone. I would run from you. Let me tell you something. You better know how to be alone. You better know how to gather yourself. Come on. I need somebody. Let me tell you, Sarah didn't need me, and I did not need Sarah. Not on paper, not in our world, not in our universe. And I think it was because we were cool with being al ana, alone, all ourselves, that we actually complemented each other. And so alone is a good thing. Now you pose a wonderful question. This is a situational question. What do I do if my spouse, my boo thing, my lover gives me a hard time, won't let me go, is struggling with me going? Here is the thing. This is not luxury. Taking care of yourself, finding balance is not luxury. This is not like something that it'd be nice to do. No. I need this. I need this to be me. So to reject this is to reject me. You don't love me. You don't love me. You're thinking about you. You're thinking about you. So if you love me, you're going to have to get over your trust issues. And that's a whole nother subject because love and trust. Listen, let me tell you something. Love is a risk. If you ain't ready to take a risk, you ain't ready to love. Love is a risk. You put your heart out there. And listen, you don't control nobody. You don't know what they do. You don't know. You can't control them. So you have to make a decision to trust. You're not with them 24 hours a day. So if you're going to be a lover, if you're truly going to be in a relationship, what comes with that is trust. And if you're not ready to trust, you're not ready to love.
Life insurance is one of the best ways to protect what matters most and help you create generational wealth to pass on to your families. You see, but here's the thing. According to LIMRA, 31% of Black people believe that life insurance is only for final expenses. But in reality, life insurance can do so much more than just take care of your final expenses and medical bills. If you have children, it can help pay for their college. If you are a homeowner, it can help pay for the mortgage. The problem is, life insurance used to be very confusing, expensive, and time-consuming, but not anymore. You see, my friends over at Ethos have it nailed down. You can get a free quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and even get same-day coverage like myself. You can do it all on your own time, completely online. Most people, like myself, it took me maybe 10 minutes to get a quote. But they also have a full-time staff of helpful experts available for any questions you may have. And check this out. They are non-commissioned, so they don't care what you buy. They just want to help you protect yourself and your family. Head over to anthonyoneal.com/ethos for a free quote today. That's anthonyoneal.com/ethos. ethos. Let's get to today's show.
I mean, I'm trying to stick to the questions and to the notes, but
No, let's flow, man.
You just said something, and it's so funny because now you done tapped into the singles, and the singles saying, wait, so he's saying that being single is a great thing, and I need to maximize and take advantage of this single thing, and I need to make sure that when I do find my wife, when my husband does meet me, we don't need each other because we're alone. We desire each other because we are comfortable being all one. But now some people saying, but no, but PT, I don't like sleeping by myself. Like, I'm tired of it. And I'm gonna keep it real with you, Pastor Touré. They're saying I don't want to be alone. I'm ready to have sex. I'm ready to have that intimacy. But you're saying maximize. You're saying it's good to be alone.
You just said, see, this is the problem in thinking. You said I don't like sleeping by myself. Switch that. You're not sleeping by yourself. You're sleeping with yourself. See, do you love you enough to be with you? So the notion, I'm sleeping alone. Our honor. Listen, now I understand, we are physical beings. It's natural to be sensual and all that. I understand that. But let me tell you something. That's worth the wait too. Because that's a whole nother thing. And so it comes down to what's driving me. And we have to become masters of ourselves. We have to become masters of our mind, of our heart, and watch this, of our souls to a certain degree. Now, here's what I mean about mastering our souls. In the book, I talk about the difference between self-awareness and soul awareness. Some people are self-aware, and that is good. It's wonderful to be self-aware, but they are not soul-aware. And the difference between self-aware and soul-aware is this. Soul-aware is the deepest part of you. See, most people are only aware of self. They're only aware of kind of how they feel and what they want and maybe the thoughts that are in their head. And that's wonderful. You need all that to work through things in life. I get that. I'm not taking anything away from that. But there's another level. Your soul is the deepest and most authentic version of you. Your soul does not lie. It craves what it craves. It wants what it wants. It has a hunger. And it will lead you to balance, actually. Your soul was created in the context of balance and wants balance and knows what it takes to get to balance, right? Yeah. So there's a longing of the soul. And because we are not soul aware, we interpret that longing, watch this, as sex, as somebody next to me in the bed, right? As a partner here. But what is the real longing of the soul? The real longing of the soul is our honor, baby. I want to be all one. I don't want to be divided. If I am living a life and I desire, and somebody's saying, but yeah, you married, you got happily married, but I wasn't at first. And it was the way that I postured myself in my singlehood that I was able to attract what was right for me. So a lot of times, if I'm not soul aware, I'm divided. What I was getting at was that our honor thing. So if I'm not all one, I'm divided. So yeah, there's part of me that knows that I need to be by myself and heal, but then there's another part of me that wants to find somebody and marry them. There's a part of me that knows that I need to be content by myself, but then there's another part that wants me to go out and can't be. So I'm not one. And so the pursuit, it's a beautiful thing to love yourself. Yeah. You know, I'm a man of God. The scriptures talk about, Jesus said, look, they asked him, what is the greatest commandments? Right. And so for me, the commandment is how do I align myself with blessing? A commandment is the alignment for the highest blessing. That's what a commandment is. When God speaks a word to you, he's telling you how to get into alignment for the highest blessing. Right. So what is the greatest commandment? They asked Jesus. And Jesus says, oh, you want to be in alignment to experience the highest blessing? No problem. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. In other words, your vertical relationship, your relationship with God is where it all starts because God affirms you in who you are. God, you experience the richness of God's love. The richness of God's love drives out all fear. You not walking around insecure and all that kind of stuff. Not when you have a real relationship with God. You know who you are. You are as bold as a lion. You can stand up to anything. And quite frankly, when you tap into that, you don't need nothing else. But he said, but that's the first level. That's the first level. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength. Then he says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, people think that the sequence is God, neighbor, self. It is not. It is God, self, neighbor. Because he says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So the benchmark for how I love my neighbor is predicated by how wonderfully I love myself. Hallelujah. And so there are people who don't love themselves. And if they're honest, that's why they want somebody else, because they don't love them. They don't love themselves enough to get to know themselves. Get to know you. Date you.
Yes, sir.
Date
Yes,
you
sir.
for a minute. And that's where Sarah and I were. When we met, I was good. I had a song. This song, Tori Kelly wrote a song back in the day called Dear No One, and she was basically talking about, I'm good. It was a dope song. If you haven't heard it, you need to listen to it. I was there. I had shut dating down, and it wasn't like I didn't have opportunities because they were knocking. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? But I shut all of it down, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna focus on my purpose. I'm gonna focus on my wholeness. I'm gonna focus on my healing, because I had a few little relationships that were stupid, and I knew that they were stupid, but it was feeding. Watch this, a hunger of my soul, or trying to feed a hunger of my soul, and got me in more trouble, got me in more confusion, got me in more No. I got myself together. I was good all by myself. I begin to enjoy being all one. I begin to enjoy not having to share an opinion. Come on, somebody. I mean, see, it's funny. Single people want to be married. Sometimes married people want to be single. Not all the time, because the grass is greener no matter where you sit, right?
Yeah.
And so all one. So anyway, I'm going on and on, but I need to get soul aware so that I can really get to what I really need. My soul will lead me to balance. And once I'm balanced, when I lift my eyes, everything that is for me will come to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's PT, short for Pastor Touré. When you get someone of his caliber on the show, you just let him talk, because it's nothing but wisdom and knowledge coming out of this man's mouth. And this is why we don't talk every day, every week, but when I do call him, he picks up. And I would definitely say the man practices what he preach. I think sometime last year I called him. He didn't pick up. I texted him. He didn't respond. And then about a week later, he was like, hey, Ayo, I was out of town resting. So he took his time. Say, Anthony gonna have to wait. I don't even think he even saw the text. He probably didn't see the text till he got back. But the man is practicing what he's preaching, and he's the author of Balance, Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well. And this book is absolutely amazing. I had the opportunity to read the advanced reading copy, and I'm telling you guys, it is a great book. I already have some highlighted points in here that I'm actually going back and I'm studying and read. This book came out this week, and we're going to drop the link to where you can go get it and purchase your copy. I highly recommend that you get it and get your notepad out. Don't just read it, write it, study it. Put it inside of your soul, because this book is going to tremendously bless you. And I'm pretty sure you already know that, because he just blessed us, especially us single people. He just made all of us look at alone totally different. And I'm challenged as a single man who desires a wife. But you know what? I need to continue being all one. And I know I'll be a great husband, but boy. See, this is why I don't like bringing you or Pastor Sarah on my show, man, because y'all just be coming for me. I'm like, listen, I was just trying to have a conversation. Y'all don't have to make me feel all like, oh, man. At least you don't call me out.
You doing
know what
good.
I'm saying? You give me love. Your wife be like, oh, Anthony, let's talk.
No
Oh,
mercy.
nah,
No,
bro.
no mercy.
It comes for none, man. But you know what? You gave us all this great stuff, and your book is giving us tools on how we can consistently operate at the highest version of ourselves. But for my tribe, I was wondering, what are some practical tips that we can put into place so we can truly position ourselves to do things well? You talked about taking some time for ourselves. What are some other things we can put into place to make sure that we are really position ourselves to do things well when it comes to balance in life?
For sure. Put no at the center of your vocabulary. Put the word no at the center of your vocabulary. No, there's a chapter in the book called The Power of No, which could be one of the most powerful chapters in the book.
Yes.
It speaks to the fact that your yes is expensive. The reason why no is important and really getting comfortable with no. Most people don't like to say no. And the reason why they don't like to say no is because they're into instant gratification. Well, what I mean by that, to say yes, you get the instant gratification of pleasing the requester, pleasing the person, pleasing the friend, pleasing whoever. Sometimes you get, even in a business deal, you get talked into something that you wanted to say no to because of the aggressive nature of the salesperson, right? And so no. So we have to get good at no. And again, the reason why we have to get good at no is because my yes is expensive. And here's what I mean. When I say yes, Anthony, to something, I just committed my time, my energy, my effort, and my availability. That's expensive. I am a limited resource. So I can't just be out there slanging yeses. Just, I want you to envision the next time you say yes, I want you to envision you just slinging $100 bills when you do it. Just you empty your account out, bucket full of $100. And every time you say yes, just see that. No. Value your yes because you're going to need it. The last thing you want to do is have something that you prayed for show up. Something that you went to school for show up. Something that you invested time, energy, maybe even resources to position yourself for show up, and you have to tell it no because you said yes to something lesser in the past. No, I take it seriously. And sometimes, maybe it's I don't know. Listen, no is I believe in no, but sometimes it's I don't know. And let me tell you something. I don't know is a no until it is converted into a yes. So I think that important. You're going to have to learn to say no to things, because oftentimes many people are weary. They're burnt out. They're out of balance because they said yes too much and then got the nerve to be mad at the people who they allowed to encroach upon their own boundaries or didn't have boundaries. Now I'm mad at you. Why are you mad at me? You could have said no. You mad at me because I asked you to do something that you should have said no to, and you did it anyway and snared yourself and missed an opportunity, and you're all burnt out and you're all stressed out and you missed something, and you could have told me no. Now here's another thing. If you have a friend that you can't tell no, you don't have a friend.
Now wait a minute, PT. You just upset somebody.
Come on.
Come on. You trying to tell me? Because I've told my friends no. Like, hey, man, I can't do that. Hey, man, let me get you on your show and promote this. I'm sorry. It doesn't align with what I'm doing. No. Oh, man, you're arrogant. You're stuck up. You're selfish.
Ooh,
like, what do you mean? I thought you was my boy. And I'm
you're selfish, huh? Look at that. See, look how crazy people are. You're trying to protect your time, your energy, your vision, and you say no. And then the narcissist flips it around on you and says, yourself, what do you mean I'm What? I'm selfish? You're trying to get me to violate my principles, my boundaries, my vision, what I'm trying to build, and I'm selfish? See, and here is the thing. The reason why you have to put a no out there every once in a while is to qualify the relationship.
Ooh.
Just to qualify the relationship. If you're done with me because I chose me, you weren't worthy of me. You weren't worthy of me. If you're done with me because I chose me, you're not worthy of me. Thank you for letting me know, because you were taking a space that something or someone that was worthy of me should be in. I love no. And let me say something else, because loyalty is a big word. Let me tell you something, Anthony. I love loyalty. I am fiercely loyal, like fiercely. And people say I'm loyal to a fault. I'm actually not loyal to a fault. Because loyalty, watch this, loyalty should never make you wrong. Come on. I'm not loyal to a fault. So here is the fault that they're talking about. Loyalty to a fault is when here is where my boundary, here is where my limit of loyalty stops. I am completely, radically loyal to you until being loyal to you means being disloyal to me. That is no longer loyalty. Now we have reached the borders and the boundaries of loyalty. You know, and I don't want a friend,
Right,
who would hold me to their idea of loyalty at the expense of me being disloyal to myself. See,
and how do you know you're being disloyal to yourself? When you start feeling out of balance and out of sync with yourself, or is it just, are there certain things that you have in place, like your morals, values, etc.?
It's both. You know, it is. We have to have limits. We have to have boundaries. I believe. You know, I talk about this in the book. Like every day, I meditate in the morning to remind myself of who I am, where I'm going, what season I'm in, and what word is governing my life. So every single day, I am reestablishing myself in a direction, in a vision, and in a mandate. So I am acutely aware of what is for me and what is not for me. I'm acutely aware of what looks like it's supposed to be in my life and what is not. And so when something is brought to me that requires my energy, my effort, myself, and it does not fit within the parameters, the predefined parameters of my vision, then I cannot say yes to it. Because in doing so, even though it would be good for you, it would be bad for me. You know, and maybe it's not, maybe it's not now. That works too. But even not now is no.
Yep. It so is.
You know?
You teaching us nicer ways to say no. You say
Yes.
no is the word, but if you want to be a little bit kind of, not now, maybe next time, or nah, maybe next time. I wouldn't do that, because then you're inviting them back when you know you really want to say no. We may as well just say no. And I say that because you know how many times I've said yes to certain opportunities, to certain things. And then as soon as I said yes, the very next day, I'm like, why did I say yes?
Yeah.
I'm at this particular event. I'm doing this particular thing for, a friend. And I'm sitting here like, man, I could have been at home. I could have been building my vision. I could have been spending time with my father, my family, my nieces, and my nephews. And you're right. My yes are expensive.
Yes.
And it's like, man, I could have been doing something else that is more valuable to me than doing this. And sometimes I've left the event feeling feeling ashamed that I even did it, because I'm like, I should have said no.
You know,
go ahead.
you know those cars, Anthony. Now, if it's not an electric car, most of them now are built with this setting where you come to a stoplight and the car shuts off automatically. And if you wanted to, and you have the option of turning that off, to get what you're going, but the default setting is off. I think in order to protect your yes, your default setting has to be no. It has to be no. I'm not saying that to say don't be thoughtful when something is brought your way, but you have to be so protective. You got to be so protective over your yes that they almost have to pry it out of your hands.
Right.
Wait,
right.
What is it you're asking for again? What is it? Pray, all that kind of stuff. Because once I release my yes, I cannot get it back. And I'm going to need it for my future.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to need it for my future. And so I think that is one of the most powerful chapters in the book.
It is. And I'm going to answer this question because I think there are a lot of people watching right now saying, PT, you are right. I said yes to something. You said it's hard to get my yes back, but I do not want to do it anymore. And I still have time to be like, to change that yes. But how do I change that yes the right way to where it doesn't damage the relationship? It doesn't make me look weird. Is there even a way to do that? Like, if you go back and you change your word, you could possibly lose that relationship, right?
Yeah, but the answer to your question is yes, because you could have said yes, and then later realized that it was a mistake. You can come back and do it. You said, how do you do it? You do it with two attributes, apologetically and definitively.
Ooh.
Apologetically, hey, I'm really sorry. I had to do this recently. I'm really sorry. I realized that me pulling out, somewhat at the last minute might cause you, an issue. I feel horrible about it. I feel no, for real. You laughing? No, for real. I feel, I feel terrible. You're funny. Stop.
And he doesn't feel horrible.
No, I do because I do feel bad about it, but not bad enough to do it anyway. But you gotta apologetically look. I feel terrible about this, and I am going to whatever I have in my wheelhouse to support you, not me, but to support you in this moment. I am going to do, but I cannot do it. So, and the reason why I said apologetically and definitively is because people will try to talk you out of your no. And let me tell you something. Your no is not subject to the acceptance of the person that's on the other side of it. Okay, your no is not a negotiation. Your no is not a partnership. It doesn't require the endorsement of another party. Your no is your no. And so but be graceful, be apologetic, be honoring, but be definitive.
Be definitive. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And this
Practice. You
me.
practicing for something. I see. You practicing for something.
I'm so sorry, and this hurts me that I have to.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. I don't know how to see that. I just like, hey man, I can no longer do the event. I'm so sorry. All right, I can no longer do it.
That's good.
I gotta
That's
practice. Good. I gotta practice like you. You're the season in it. You're seasoned. You're seasoned in it. I'm gonna practice that tonight, honestly, because I need to go back and say no to certain people. Jesus, I should have said no to certain dates, but that's another conversation down the road. That's another conversation. As we're coming to a close, PT, because I definitely want to respect your time, and you guys, you have to get this book Balance. PT has put, and I say PT, you guys, because most people who know him and follow him call him, that's short for Pastor Touré. You probably saying, who is PT? It's Pastor Touré. All right. And so I really do want to encourage you all to get this book. And I would say get two. Get two copies. Get one copy for yourself and gift this. Especially, here we go. Single people, if you're dating someone, get this book and get it for the person who you're dating. And y'all read this thing together. One of the things that I'm really focusing on, when I do settle down is me and my significant other, the person who I'm dating, we will read together. We will grow together. I don't have no more specific goals. I have growth measurements. How am I growing? How are we growing? And as we're continuing to grow, we'll accomplish everything else. And getting on the same page when it comes to balance is a great start to a great relationship. Because you baby see if this is for you or if it's not for you in that relationship. So get a copy of this book. But PT, there are some people listening to this interview who desperately want to achieve balance in every aspect, every area of their life. But many feel that it is unattainable due to their external goals, like upbringing, their environments, financial constraints, their family, their jobs. But they're saying, I hear you. Say no, give me some quality time. but it's hard. I'm a single mom. I can't just get away for 2-3 days. What encouragement can you give those who are listening today and saying, I want what you are saying, but I don't think I could do that?
I would ask them to pray to their God for faith to stop. Because that mentality, which I understand entirely, says what I've got, the train is moving and it is on these tracks and I cannot control it. It's just going. It's going to go where it's going to go. I wish I can do this, but I've got to keep my life moving. And that is a mistake, because in order to achieve balance, you must stop. So it's not, people ask, what's the first step to balance? The first step to balance is not a step. It's to stop. It literally is no step at all. It's to stop. And that's the hardest thing for people to do. It takes more faith to stop than it does to go forward and do great things. Because the idea is, if I stop, I'll lose money, I'll lose relationships, I'll lose opportunity, when the reality of it is, if you're not balanced, you're losing money. Your relationships are struggling and you're missing opportunities because life has you by the horns instead of you having life by the horns. And so, and you can't even, let me tell you something. And if you're an entrepreneur or career person, you want to scale your business, you cannot scale without stopping to evaluate, to assess, to reconsider. I'm doing this now, but some people are doing things that worked for them before, but is actually counterproductive now. But because they're locked into a certain rhythm, then they don't have an opportunity to assess. And so what happens is, when you stop, it allows you, watch this, to be aware. Your train is on the tracks, is moving. You don't even see what terrain you're passing. You don't even know where you're going. So I have to stop. So you have to pray to God, however you get your strength. You stop and you say, I need the faith to stop, because if I don't stop, I can't scale. If I don't stop, I can't win. If I don't stop, I will never find balance. And if I never find balance, I will never be able to give my best self to the things that I say matter the most to me.
One thing I've learned, I learned in seminary school, when the preacher is done preaching, don't come behind him and preach anymore. I don't need to say nothing else after that. Yup, PT, man, this, I am extremely happy for you, and I'm grateful for you, your ministry, your assignment, and you accepting that. And I've known you now for about 4 years, and just to, every time I talk to you, you challenge me. You encourage me, you challenge me, you give me wisdom. And I wanted my family, my tribe, to get a piece of that again. Because last time you came on, you killed it. This time you came on, you killed it, and you got me thinking like, dang, all one, Anthony. You got to be all one. And it sounds so easy, and it really is. You just got to be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And that's doable, man. That is doable. One thing before you go, tell my sister we need a Pastor Touré and Pastor Sarah doing a woman and man evolve, so we can talk about balance, we can talk about evolving, we can talk about all that. And so please pass the message on to my sister, because I'm like, man, we need this information, and I think if men specifically can get this balance, we can evolve a lot better. But anything you want to leave my tribe with before we head out, sir?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I enjoy being with you. My passion and my vision for anyone who is listening is for you to have zero tolerance for a life of imbalance. That's my prayer. And in the book, I show you how to do that.
So get the book, ladies and gentlemen. Get The book. It's called Balance, Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well. We will drop the link in today's show notes and support him. But really supporting him, you're supporting yourself even more. And so,
Absolutely.
Pastor Touré, thank you so much. We'll drop all of his information, his church information, his IG, website, all that in the show notes, because once you get the book, you're going to want to watch his sermons. I watch his sermons every Sunday. After I watch my pastor, Pastor Stephen Chandler here at Union Church, I go watch Toure or Pastor Sarah, whichever one is teaching, because the one movement, that's a movement. It's not just a church, it's a movement. So check them out, you guys. Love y'all. See y'all on the next show.